Ever had a sharp knife that still crushes tomatoes, mangles strawberries, and turns peeling apples into a knuckle-risking sport? Today that ends, because the right paring knife makes small prep feel effortless. This video is a countdown of 5 popular paring knives, ranked from number 5 to number 1. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits your cooking style. Whether you want a cheap workhorse, a classy daily driver, or a set that covers multiple small tasks. We'll talk real-world peeling, trimming, coring, and detail work, plus the little annoyances nobody mentions until after you buy. Number 5. Mercer Culinary M1800, M1870 series. Let's start with the Mercer Ultimate White Style Paring Knife. This one is a compact 3-inch, smooth-edge blade made from stain-free, high-carbon Japanese stainless steel, and it's built like the kind of knife you'd see in a busy prep station. The handle is polypropylene with textured grip points and a finger guard, so it feels utilitarian and get the job done from the first second you hold it. In testing, it's the knife I reached for when I wanted something small and nimble for quick strawberry hulling, mushroom trimming, or slicing garlic when I didn't want to dirty a bigger blade. The blade has a spear point shape, which is great for poking into skins and starting cuts, like getting into a thick grape tomato skin or making the first incision on an apple before peeling. I also like that it's hollow ground because it makes touch-up sharpening straightforward when it starts to lose that crisp bite. For fast hand-in-the-air work, peeling over the sink, trimming fat caps, or cleaning up produce, it's comfortable in a very practical way. Now for the honest downside. The 3-inch length can feel limiting. When I'm doing longer peels on potatoes or trying to segment citrus neatly, I found myself wishing for just a bit more blade to keep the cut smooth and continuous. It's not a deal breaker, but it does mean this knife is best for truly small tasks, rather than being your one paring knife for everything. Also, that very pro kitchen handle, while grippy and safe, doesn't feel premium. If you love a warm wood handle or a more refined balance point, the Mercer can feel a little plasticky and purely functional, and that affects the overall experience more than people expect. Number 4. Mad Shark DJG021. At number 4 is the Mad Shark, and this one is trying hard to be the modern, sleek, budget upgrade paring knife. Many listings describe it as a stainless steel paring knife with a 3.5-inch blade. And on paper, that extra half-inch over the Mercer is a real quality of life improvement for peeling and longer slices. In testing, it definitely felt more full in the hand than a tiny 3-inch blade, especially when I was doing quick lemon twists, trimming green beans, or nipping a popsicle, or cutting kiwi into clean, even coins. Performance-wise, the knife came out feeling sharp enough for most home tasks, and I liked how easily it got through soft skins without needing aggressive pressure. For small prep like deveining shrimp, cleaning up silver skin on smaller cuts, or making garnish cuts, it was competent and enjoyable when everything was aligned. But here's where I have to be a bit critical. It doesn't feel as dialed in as more established designs. The balance and finishing can feel inconsistent from one grip angle to another. And with a knife this small, tiny ergonomic issues become a big deal because your fingers are so close to the action. In my use, it was fine for quick jobs, but during longer prep, like peeling a pile of apples for a tart, I noticed hand comfort mattered more than I expected. Another drawback is that some versions of the product appear in different blade lengths online, which can make it confusing to buy the exact one you think you're getting. If you're shopping quickly and assume every Mad Shark paring knife is the same, it's easy to end up with something closer to a small utility knife than a true paring knife, and that changes how it handles for detail work. 3. HOSHANHO 3.75-inch Paring Knife. Number 3 is the HOSHANHO, and this is where the list starts feeling more enthusiast than basic. The brand highlights Japanese 10CR15KO MOV stainless steel, around 60 HRC hardness, and a 15-degree edge, basically aiming for that fine, precise cutting feel that makes delicate prep actually satisfying. In testing, it felt noticeably more confident on tricky textures, like the waxy skin of peppers, the slippery surface of mango, or the thin membrane of citrus, where you want control more than brute force. That 3.75-inch blade length is an underrated sweet spot. It's long enough to make clean, single-pass cuts through medium fruits and vegetables, but still short enough to keep the pen-like control you want for paring knife work. I used it for coring strawberries, trimming Brussels sprouts, and cleaning mushrooms, and it handled the detail cuts without feeling twitchy. The big win is edge feel. There's a crispness to the bite that makes prep faster because you're not sawing or forcing the knife. When I sliced cherry tomatoes, it didn't skid across the skin the way cheaper parers sometimes do. It just grabbed and went through. That's the kind of small difference that adds up over a week of cooking. In the hand, HOSHANHO's design focus shows up in comfort and confidence during longer sessions. When I did a longer prep run, peeling and slicing fruit for a ball, the knife felt like it wanted to stay aligned rather than wandering off angle. That reduces fatigue because you're not constantly correcting your wrist and grip. 2. Opinel No. 112 Paring Knife. At number 2 is the Opinel No. 112, and this knife has that classic, simple, French practicality that just works. It's designed as a multi-purpose knife for slicing, chopping, and peeling fruits and vegetables, plus trimming meat, with a 10cm blade and a beechwood handle. In testing, the first thing that stood out was how natural it felt for everyday cooking, like it wants to be picked up, used, rinsed, and used again. That 10cm blade length gives you more capability than many true paring knives, especially for slicing. I found it great for making quick cucumber ribbons, slicing apples into thin wedges, and trimming chicken or steak with controlled, shallow cuts. It's still small enough for peeling and detail work, but it bridges the gap between parer and small utility knife in a really useful way. The beech handle is a big part of why it ranks so high for daily use. It's pleasant to hold, and it adds that warm, non-slip feeling you don't get from hard plastic. Opinel also notes the handle is varnished to protect it from moisture and dirt, which is reassuring if you're using it constantly around wet produce. It feels like a knife that's meant to live on your counter, not hidden in a drawer. The blade steel is chosen for high corrosion resistance and good mechanical performance, and Opinel even calls out that it holds up well to abrasion, meaning it won't feel fragile in normal cooking. In testing, I didn't baby it, and it still held a practical edge for day-to-day prep. It's not a showpiece edge that you're afraid to use, it's a working edge. 1. Huusk Paring Knife Set. At number 1 is the Huusk, and the reason a set wins here is simple. In real kitchens, paring knife jobs aren't just one job. Some days you want a tiny detail blade for strawberries and garlic. Other days you want something slightly larger for peeling, trimming, and quick slicing. And having 2 matching paring knives means you can keep one clean for fruit and one for savory prep without constantly stopping to wash. What stood out in testing was how the set approach made meal prep smoother. When I was doing a full cooking session, fruit garnish, then veggie prep, then trimming proteins, I didn't have to keep swapping tools or washing the same knife midstream. That's not glamorous, but it's the kind of convenience that actually changes how enjoyable cooking feels. The brand also leans into ergonomic control and comfort, which matters a lot on small knives because your grip is close to the blade. Huusk highlights features like a secure grip concept and a stainless steel blade focus across their knives, aiming for handling and durability. In use, the knives felt like they were designed to stay stable during tip work, like removing blemishes from potatoes or cleaning up strawberries without that slippery handle, nervous fingers feeling. Another reason it takes the top spot in this lineup is value through redundancy. Paring knives are the most likely knives to disappear into the sink, end up in the dishwasher by mistake, or get borrowed and not returned. A set means you're not stuck when one is dirty or missing, and you still get consistent feel between the two. Now, to be clear, no paring knife set is magic. You still need to keep them sharp and use them like paring knives, not as pry bars. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.